Andre the Giant.
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 Yeah, Andre the Giant.
And that's Meisner, ladies and gentlemen. Intro. Trying out new intro music. Intro. Still trying out new intro music. Yes, it's the same podcast, don't worry. There's no bass coming in, but there still is a tiny guitar. There he is, isn't it? He's not as tiny as he once was. He's more mini. Is mini bigger than tiny? I don't know. He's bigger than a borrower. I don't know. Anyway, shall we just begin? Okay. Welcome to the Unsociable Actor, episode 6. I'm your host, Paul Tonkin, and yes, I am an actor. I know what you're thinking. Finally, an actor has made a podcast. Yes, I hear you cry. They are so few and far between. Yes, the chosen one. Unlike the title suggests, I myself am not unsociable. Socially awkward, yes, but unsociable, no. Basically, what I am is an actor. Yeah, you've said that. Who is not guitar strum on social media. Oh, no, it can't be done. How do you survive? Is it even possible? Isn't it just like turning up to a dick swinging contest without the aforementioned appendage? Well, that's what I've been finding out, and so far, I'm still alive. Now, let's cut to the guest intro, shall we? Unsociable actor. So, this week's guest, who's he going to be? It could be literally anyone in the whole wide contact list on my phone. And so, with that in mind, today's guest is Ryan Stratton. Ryan is an actor and a stage and screen combat whiz-kid. Fight! And I've had the pleasure of working with him on many occasions. If there's something you need to know about stage combat, he's your guy. Unless you've Googled it already. Wait, you want to hear more about today's guest? Okay. Ryan attended East 15 Acting School, studying acting and stage combat, passing with flying colours. Since then, Ryan has worked continually as a stunt performer on the show Vikings, and many films including Faintheart, Ironclad, Hammer of the Gods, and the Saoirse Ronan Margot Robbie vehicle, Mary Queen of Scots. He has also worked as a fight choreographer on productions such as Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Twelfth Night, and a viral Durex ad. Spot the odd one out. Apparently, if Ryan hadn't taken up stunt work, he would have loved to have been a puppeteer. Wouldn't we all, Ryan? Wouldn't we all? The interview. Chit-chat. And so, to my right, I have
Ryan Stratton.
Hello, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm good. So we're recording this after we have watched Blackbird, which, if people who don't know, Blackbird is a film written, directed, produced, and starring Michael Flattley. Now, I think Michael Flattley heard, when writing this, he heard that less is more. And he heard that and he ran with it, didn't he?
Yes.
It's a brilliant film in the realms of The Room, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even The Room had a certain, there was an undertaking to it rather than just trying to be for the sake of one particular person. Yeah. Like, Tommy Wiseau, I think, actually thought he was making a movie. Flattley was just making an ode to himself in Blackbird.
Flat out making an ode to himself.
Yes. And I love how he tried to keep it uncomplicated by, what was the character's name? Blackley.
Fly Cool Matley. It was, if you haven't seen it, buy it. Because and it's a zip. It's like 90 minutes long. So, and you leave not knowing anything about the film.
It's just people saying random words to each other and not really committing to most of the sentences.
Or the ends of them, anyway.
Yeah. And then, of course, no word of a lie, there was the secret formula. And I went, surely that's lazy. I've heard of the film cliche of the MacGuffin being in there, which is what the secret formula is, but they just went, it's a secret formula.
This was like the Muck Scooby-Doo. It was Oh, God. Anyway. Middle. Edit. Yeah, so we're not here just to talk about Blackbird. Ryan is here to talk with me about being a person in the acting profession and social media. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that is the podcast. So, tell me about you and your work.
So, I started off with the dream of being an actor, and I went to drama schools in the usual way that most people do. And as I went there, I went to most of them to apply for the acting courses, and I got to the drama school East 15, and I was applying for the acting course there. I did all of that, and the director of the school, a gentleman by the name of John Baroldi, he personally took delight in being able to handpick every student that went there. He was at every audition. He was always there making sure that he had the final say and the final approval, which is a method I really admired. And when we were doing the feedback, we were grouped together, those of us that got through to the last round. He just went, Ryan, I think that you were the worst actor I had ever seen. And that just sort of knocked me on my feet a little bit. I went, okay, because what else can I say to that? And he said, you are not an actor's actor, you're a director's actor. As soon as I started to give you instruction, you followed it and you did it better than I thought you could have done. So it's there. I am going to offer you the place on the acting course, but there is a tiny problem. You can't sing. And I was in wholehearted agreement with that. And I just went, yeah, you're absolutely right there.
As am I, just so you know.
Yes, yeah, no, I'm quite comfortable with that scenario. So, because every drama school audition I had, there was always the bit about singing, and I just couldn't avoid you. If you do the actors course anywhere in any drama school, there is a singing audition in there, and there is, because singing is always part of the actors' repertoire. And I just don't have any talent for that. But he said, you're physically very good, and I see you have a martial arts background. I think you'd be better for the stage combat course. Come back again next week, do the audition for that. I think you'll be more comfortable there. And I thought, okay, stage combat, that sounds interesting. And he said, yeah, basically it's stage combat and acting, and one lesson a week of singing, as opposed to 5 or 6. And I went, well, that sounds much more up my alley. So I spent 3 years doing the degree in that, and that refocused me and realigned me. And then I began getting small stunt gigs on TV shows and films. I did Vikings for all but one season. I was in seasons 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And then I did some film work as well, and I started to get fight choreographer work for theatre. And that became my niche. And then I just like to use my body more than just the actual actor's usual tool, which is to go into their emotion. I still enjoy plays, and I still enjoy doing the bits on stage and everything. But as soon as I was out, I was immediately getting fight choreography work. And I thought, yeah, this is a good gig and I'm enjoying this. So that was where I kind of left off. That was how my sort of turnaround happened very suddenly. And I stuck with it because I enjoyed it. And it's also kind of sexy. Being able to do, fight choreography. It's a little bit more interesting than just the acting alone. But that was where I've done. And I've been doing that really ever since. Now looking to realign because I'm getting a little bit older. The body's starting to hurt after a couple of impacts. And I'm thinking I probably should start teaching now because... one day I'm going to, be on set, everything will go black. 2 weeks later, you open your eyes, you've got a guy in a white coat stood over you and going, that's it, you're done, you're finished. And that is where your career could end. And that's the risk that you have in the stunt industry as well.
Like dancers, really, in some respects, there's a certain time scale that you have, really. I suppose there comes a time in every actor's life when you realise you might want to start teaching.
Yes.
Or never play the game. So, where are you on social media? Are you on social media?
No, I do have a Facebook page, but it's there for photos. That's what I keep. I keep it on there. I don't use it for the usual thing. I just upload photos to it, so I've got an online photo album.
Yeah, that's very common. In fact,
but it's an online photo album for me. It's not a public thing. I've blocked it in every possible way. I don't have a friends list on there. And I certainly don't have Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. I kind of did it originally in the way that everyone did, just because it was the latest thing. It was the fad that everybody got on top of. And I followed that sort of line of people that did it. And then I suddenly realised that I just didn't like looking up the latest memes or people's political opinion or, what they're trying to do, or someone promoting vegetarianism or fashion or whatever it was that they're really into, which is fine for them, but it just didn't. And I feel like I'm compelled to click like or to comment on them, and if I don't, they question why I haven't.
Do you feel the algorithms that are tailored to you were just giving you more and everything when you didn't have the brain capacity that had to take it on board? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say so, because I would just, stuff would just pop up, and I'd be like, am I supposed to interact with this? I mean, am I being rude if I don't interact with it?
feel-
Does anybody know that I'm here or not? You know.
Did you feel pressure to when you were on social media to be active and be present?
Absolutely, because I mean, one of the features that Facebook had, for example, was events. And, you know, as, you know, in the performing arts industry, it's very common and it's a very useful free tool to just say, right, just put this event together and send it out to everyone. And I feel compelled to respond to that in some way, even though 90% of the time I wasn't available to whatever it was, or it was very far away. And there were three options: yes, no, and maybe. And I would just put maybe on everything consistently. And I would get another interaction from the person saying, "Oh, you might be coming. That's nice." But no, I'm not coming. But I just I feel too rude to say no. And again, I do feel compelled to interact with it.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
you know, so then it becomes more of a burden than anything else.
What? Mum, I'm doing an edit. Oh, ruin that. How do you feel, because you have no social media now, how do you feel lighter, freer,
Yes.
more your own self?
Well, liberated from it, because it's not something that I'm constantly having to check every 3 times a day. I think when I was using it, you know, and now I get real pleasure in interacting with a person, not necessarily physically, like in person, but I can at least send them a text message, or I might give them a phone call, which to me is well, that's what socializing is all about. I appreciate it's called social media, but there's more media than social. It's just...
Oh, yeah, definitely now, I
Yeah.
suppose. Yeah, it's more of a tool. It's more on your own terms, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking from my own experience being off social media now, it's my interactions with people are more few and far between and on my own terms, and more beneficial, more fruitful, if that makes sense.
Do you feel your phone is packed with more people without having a social media, like lists of phone numbers, which is more essential because you do still interact with people? But
I'm more aware of when I take a number to keep it and to be active with the number, which means, I suppose, being more interactive and connected to the actual person rather than just putting stuff about myself online and I know that person might see it, they might not do. It's more connected.
yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I'd be more disconnected, and I feel like I did a little bit to begin with. I had a bit of the fear of missing out, you know, FOMO. But now I feel a lot more grounded and a lot more myself.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, which is, I suppose, that's a good thing. You know, a stronger sense of self.
Well, you're not an online persona. You're an interactive person with other people.
Yeah.
And like I say, if I want to speak to a person, I will send them a text, I'll send them a phone call, or whatever I do regarding that.
When you were on social media, did you ever create content for social media itself regarding your work? As in, did you ever post specific fight clips or to promote your work and to use it as a promotional tool?
Yeah, I suppose I did usually when I was doing theatre, I put up the poster of whatever show I was in and then put the dates in there again, because I thought maybe this can be a useful tool and and at the moment it's the hot topic, it's the big thing that everybody is into.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used the tools in the way that I thought I was supposed to use it for, because I thought this is a great networking tool, and I think that's why I held on to it as long as I did, because I felt that it was a networking tool and it's perfect for people in the creative arts. Then I realised a couple of years had gone by and I hadn't had any work through social media. I don't think I ever did, now that I really think about it.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
You know, did you gain any work
No.
at all, do you think?
I don't know. It's just, but it was just such a useful tool, because there was a time years before the mobile phone where if somebody said, let's stay in contact, if you wanted to meet somebody, they would say, can I get your number? To get your number, it would require a pen and paper. Then we advance into the world of Facebook, where it would be, oh, just add me. That was the term that was used.
Yeah.
And it was with the simplicity of, well, I know your first name, so I'll type that in. Undoubtedly, we'll have mutual friends, so you'll probably be in the top 4 that I look for. And because you're in the creative arts, it's good to keep everybody in this little network. And I saw that value and I bought into it, realising then that my friend list was exceeding 2,000. I didn't have a clue who any of them were. I have, within my life, really, I think about 50 intimate friends. who I speak to regularly.
50.
I just sort of a random.
That's a good amount of them.
I don't know that people.
I got 5. I think.
No, but I kind of made that number up a little bit, but maybe I overexerted myself there. But but people who I interact with, and then I just thought I don't know anyone here, and there was even the date stamp of friends since, and I went, well, what was I doing at the time? I think I just met that person in a bar, and we both mentioned we liked theatre.
It's a sneaky edit. 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 It's a sneaky edit to cover shit.
Yes, we're having a jolly good time. Do you remember in lockdown, the Stunt guys were, I think you're on TikTok, Hollywood Stunt guys, and they were doing videos where they would different ways. I would punch the camera, and it would cut to the next person.
They would cut to the next person, and they would react, and then they would carry the punch on. Yeah.
Do you remember it?
I remember it. Yeah, and I saw it and thought, oh, that's cute.
You never thought about doing that yourself?
No. Doesn't do anything because again, it's me doing something, wanting people to see it and get their approval of it, or get them to join in and make it into something and give it credence and give it meaning. It's kind of like what's that graffiti of Andre the Giant. The guy, the graffiti artist who actually does that and puts it everywhere, he says, it's just an image, but if it's consistent enough, eventually it gets meaning.
It's a message.
And he had no meaning to it. He's just constantly putting it out there until eventually it becomes an art, or it becomes a statement, or it becomes a political message, or whatever it is. And that's all these things are, which are on social media. Everyone's trying to say something, give it meaning.
That sounds like a Meisner exercise to go into an acting world here. Repetition.
Yes.
Andre the Giant.
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 Yeah, Andre the Giant.
And that's Meisner, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, yeah. That was for free.
This is actually a Meisner class now.
Yeah.
A cheeky bit of acting talk now. Let's get back to the socials.
So, how long ago was it that you left social media, and how did you go about it?
It's coming up to about 2 years now, and what first made me do it, I did have an Instagram with about 7 pictures on there after 5 years of having it, I think, because it just wasn't something that I was very interested in. And then, I think because I hadn't used it in so long, it got hacked. So I deleted the app and I shut that down. That was what instigated it. I never really had Twitter anyway, so that wasn't an issue. But then that was what made me look at Facebook. And I thought, okay, well, who do I actually know on here for real? Who do I have a relationship with? Who could I just... I mean, calling it a relationship, who can I just phone who would recognise my voice alone? And I could interact with them that way. So I just started going through people who I just didn't speak to, like, or have regular communication with. And I just thinned the herd and just started doing that. And then when I started going out to my local bar, there were lots of people there that I knew, but they were just people that I saw in my local bar. And I would say hello and we would chat and everything. And suddenly they were just a little bit colder. And I felt that they had noticed. They took me off of Facebook, And it's like I was making a statement or I was trying to hurt the person. I wasn't. I didn't care about any of that, but people seem to. They say, oh, well, you've unfriended me. Does that mean it's a metaphor for life? We can't talk socially? And I was like, well, no, Facebook isn't real. Yeah. And I thought, and that was what made me go the extra mile, where I thought, well, if I just cancel it, no one can accuse me of being antisocial or... trying to isolate myself. I just thought, I'll just shut it off. I don't even care about it. And that's what I did.
I mean, that's clear that it actually affects your mental health, right?
Yes.
It actually seeps into real life. And so it feeds on your insecurities and anxieties, I think.
No, absolutely.
If you're using it as a friendship platform. But if it's used as a work tool or... selling something, selling your company or selling yourself, then if you've got the time and the energy and the know-how, it's great. But that's not how it was sold to begin with. That's how it is now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't sold to you. Well, it wasn't sold to me like that. And then you're lost in the quagmire of anxieties, and when in real life you just want to go to bed. Just want to put the covers over your head for a day. And go.
When did you leave it?
Fully, I slowly got off bit by bit, but the last bit of social media I left was Twitter, November 2022. So Twitter was recent, but I didn't have the app, but I was on it. But I have to make an effort once a week or twice a week to go on it, to do something, to retweet, to say, look, I'm alive, I'm still a bit witty, or still a bit this, but just generally just, I'm here. But I kept it purely for work purposes because people can ask, oh, have you got a Twitter handle or this, that, and the other. Twitter handles have appeared on theatre programmes and stuff, that still blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, of course, this is an edit. What did you think it was, you fool?
Moving forward now, where do you think, let's say 10 years on now, where do you think your relationship with social media would be in 10 years' time?
Well, right now I would say 0. I wouldn't have anything to do with it at all. And I feel very firmly about that way. But things are developing all the time. There's, it was MySpace for a long time. And we've now got Snapchat, we've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, we've got so many versions of a social media platform that are tailor-made to certain audiences and to certain people that go, oh no, that's perfect for me, that's just what I need because it's good for my personality, it's good for my business, or it's good for me expressing myself in whatever way I want to express. So maybe something will come along and I'll go, oh, that will work and that's tailored to my requirements or needs. And
tickle your fancy.
Yeah, it fills my desire in that way, if there is such a thing. At the moment, though, they all seem to be very similar to me. They all come out, they're a variation of whatever came before, just with a couple more bells and whistles attached to it. But no, I don't feel like I'm missing out, and I do feel more connected to human beings, and I just enjoy that kind of emotional connection where I can actually go, I know who that person is because I speak to them. I actually see them. I write to them. I've got, I got a letter in the post the other day, and I kept it because a friend of mine wrote it to me. And, there was a time where when we were kids, letters were a little bit more common. People did write to each other, but I had something very physical from this person. They had taken the time for it, and I thought that's amazing. And it also feels like I'm holding a relic of a time forgotten. Because everything's electronic. I'm like I say, no social media, but I still email people. But that is me just punching letters in and sending it to a person's private thing.
Do you think there's people now who are younger than us who would see a letter, any handwritten letter, as something insidious? It's like, what the fuck? Who's done this? They're
written with letters from different magazines and put together.
What that is.
Yeah.
It's just a collage saying I love you.
Yeah. The fact that I signed it in blood is irrelevant.
That would tip
because I want to put as much of myself into this as I can. Yeah. No, I mean it is such. Because the thing is, even now I know of people who set Facebook or social medias up for their babies, they're not even months old, and they're on the grid.
It's not a bank account.
But it's one of those things where they're going to get to the point, of course, where most 20-year-olds now don't know the world without the iPhone or the laptop or whatever, because it's the world that they were born into, in the same way that another generation didn't know anything other than the typewriter.
I barely know it as well because I'm getting older and I can't remember, even though I was there.
Yeah. But there we go. There's something that we are sort of born into that is sort of like, standing the test of time. Like, the fad of the mobile phone when it was about the size of a brick and people said it's never going to catch on. And it didn't catch on. But they developed it to a point where it was more, suiting people's needs. It was handheld. And now, not just phone calls. We can do anything with a phone as well. It's a window into this entire world. And I remember there was one photo I saw which I thought really summed it up. It was a gig. It was a band that was playing, and it was a group of people. They were probably 25 and younger, except for one person. She must have been in her 70s, and every single one of them was watching the gig through the phone and recording it, which is fair enough. Mm-hmm. The only person that wasn't was this elderly person, and the title on the picture was, "There's only one person in this photo that's living in the moment." And that is kind of what I want to embrace a bit more. I want to be able to live in the moment.
Yeah. So, in the future, do you think there will be a social media app that will entice you back online.
No.
Okay, and on that very succinct answer, thank you very much, Ryan.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So thank you for listening. If you made it this far, I'd just like to say one thing. Could you please subscribe? It will help with any other episodes that I make, and it shows a lot of love. And we need a lot of love in the world. Sing it. No, I didn't mean actually. No. Stop. No, I said. No. Shh. Thank you. Stop. Why does it sound like an intro to something? No, we're ending the podcast. No, this is the end. The end. Stop. Stop the music. Just the bass. Thank you. Goodbye.